In June 2008, I was T-boned while driving down a local street on the way with my wife and my son to go shopping. That car accident caused my right shoulder to be displaced, causing surgery, causing 3 years of pain doctors. It also introduced me to opiate pain pills. In the 3 years that I saw those doctors, I was prescribed high amounts of narcotic pain pills that were addictive. It led me to cash and carry doctors that allowed me to give them $200, and for no questions asked, I was allowed to tell them what pills I wanted. And they gladly filled the script. After those 3 years, one day I went to my doctors and they ended that. I was no longer getting pain pills. I was no longer getting assistance for pain. I was now on my own. I had gone to a friend and asked them to buy pain pills, and they told me that they couldn't do that, but they had heroin. I tried it, afraid to become addicted to the dependency, to the fear of needles, and they had told me, "You're already addicted. It's too late. You might as well try it." So I did. What this started was an 8-year adventure for me that was oftentimes scary. It was oftentimes dangerous. That came to a point where I was willing to die for this. I had stopped using in my home, so my wife, my 3 children, wouldn't find my body slumped over, bruised, pockmarked, with me with a needle still in my arm. I had taken to local gas stations to start using in bathrooms, so I could spare my family that trauma of finding me. Unbeknownst to me, though, I had willingly and oftentimes knowingly put that burden on anybody in this room, that at any point you could have walked into one of those restrooms and found me. My addiction led me to some pretty dark places, incarceration. I was arrested 8 times before it was all said and done. I accumulated a total of 4 cases, 14 felonies, and 13 misdemeanor charges. So at the age of 30 years old, I became a 2-time felon, a heroin addict, unsure of what to do with my life, where to go. There was never enough money, there was never enough time, there was never enough drugs. I was simply trying to fill a void that wasn't fillable. The harder I tried, the bigger it got. I was willing, as I mentioned, to die for this. I had thought I would be dead by now. I had anticipated that. I had at one point written a letter to my wife explaining my sorrow and my pain and how sorry I was for everything I put my kids through, my wife, my mom, and my dad. People I didn't even know. I was so sorry. I had anticipated that it would be an accidental overdose is what it would be ruled, but realistically, it would have been a suicide. I didn't know how to make it stop. During my time on probation, I was given 3 years with 15 years conditional time. The simple rules. Don't do drugs, don't get into trouble, get a job, do what you have to do. The first 2 years of probation, I did not follow those rules. I had a job, I didn't get in trouble, I was still using. Due to underemployment in offices, they couldn't hold me accountable. I was not drug tested regularly. They asked me if I was clean, I said yes, no more questions were asked. I went about my business. That changed on December 23rd, 2016. My PO showed up after an anonymous tip, led them to believe I was still using. So she came to my house. She said she just wanted to talk for a minute, but I knew what it was. I knew what was going to happen. I knew that she was going to have to do her job. After she came to the house, she said, "Nate, I just need to give you a quick UA and you can be on your way." And I said, "Or we can just go to jail." So in front of my 3 kids and my wife, right before Christmas Eve, I was arrested again. Sitting in jail the first 6 days, I was in what is considered segregation because I was deemed unhealthy. I was deemed unfit to be in general population. I was going through withdrawal, so I was shaking, I was throwing up, sweating. I couldn't eat or drink. At this point in my life, I had gone from about 298 pounds to 105 pounds in 6 months. There was no more hiding it. It was pretty clear there was a problem. My PO came and saw me on the 7th day. The 7th day was also the day that I was deemed healthy enough to go into general population. I was now allowed to be with people and spend the remaining time that I had to sit in this jail cell before they opened the door. My PO came to visit, and she gave me 3 very simple options. The first one was my guaranteed 15 years, that if the judge had told me if I screwed up, that was what was going to happen. No questions asked. The second option was 18 months in a rehab facility, which was also in a prison. So I would be extended on my supervision, and I would get to spend 18 months in prison. The third option was a napkin that basically said I could go home, but I had to stop doing drugs. I chose the third option. However, I didn't know what life without drugs was. After almost a decade, they had become my lifeline. I remember telling my wife, well, I never cheated on you while I was out using. This little silver bag could do more for me physically, emotionally, sexually, and spiritually than my wife, my kids, any friends, my parents, anyone could do for me. I didn't know how I was going to live without that. Part of the agreement that she didn't tell me in jail was that I had to go to meetings at a local recovery group in the hospital, as well as a local church. That was suggested to me by a counselor that I had met. In going to that church, I met an amazing man. His name is Derek. And he told me, you have to consider a different way of thinking. I didn't know what that meant. I had no clue. How do you just stop doing what you've done for 10 years and do something else? Somewhere around 3 months of being sober, I had gone to my neighbor's house and I had mowed their lawn because they were selling their house. They live in California. I just did it because I didn't want to look at it every day. It was unsightly. And I remember getting done and looking at this lawn and noticing that it looked rather beautiful when someone had taken the time to work with it, to show it love, show it affection. Instantly, I saw a change, not unlike myself. When I got arrested at 105 pounds, I was unsightly, to say the least. When my PO took me to jail, she told me that she was going to save my life. I was high at the time. I had just done about a half a gram, so my eyes were rolling behind my head as she said it, and I remember connecting with her in the rearview mirror, hands behind my back, and I just laughed at her. And I said, you can't save someone who doesn't want to be saved. I never asked you for this. She said, you're right, but I'll try. So that paired with Derek's words, you have to consider a different way of thinking. And mowing the stranger's lawn that I had never met allowed me to understand that I could help fix a community that I had destroyed in my active addiction. What started off as one lawn quickly turned into 12 lawns over the course of about 2 months. I didn't charge anybody. I didn't even ask people. If your lawn was long, I came and mowed it. Out of consideration for the fact that I wanted to remain anonymous, out of fear that people would judge me when they knew who I was and what I had done and what I was, clinically speaking, I told them my name was Mike. Recently, someone figured out my name was not Mike. Mowing lawns quickly turned into reconnecting with my family and my parents, my brothers, my sister, my wife, and my kids. I remember looking at my wife at one point, about 6 months clean, and saying, I don't know you sober. I don't know how this is going to work. At this point, we had been together about 12 years. And I got to date my wife again. And she fell in love with me again. She's still my wife. After a Facebook post with someone complaining about the trash in the community and no one's lack of desire to pick it up, I had looked at my wife and I had said, the amount of time it took to take your phone out of your pocket, pick up the trash and hold it, to take the picture, to write the post, to share it. You could have just picked the trash up and put it in the damn waste paper basket. That was the day that my son and I started Adventures of a Baby Jerkface. We decided that we were going to go to a local park and we were going to find that trash. We were going to find the unsightly and we were going to make it beautiful again. We were going to make it safe for community members, for family members, and for children all over the area to go to a park and not have to worry about needles, trash, empty drug bags, or whatever you could find. The hope is that people would find us and they would see us and they would join us. The first day, a man and a wife came across from the street. They gave us water, they brought us gloves, they gave us bags, and they stayed to help. It took 15 minutes, and I had proved my point. That if someone saw another person take pride in their community, they would in turn show that pride and take pride in their own communities. This started a whole new way for my son and I. We now expanded it. We went to different parks and we went to different hiking trails. You can quite frequently see us out in town every morning before I go to work. We go on a 5-mile bike ride every day, picking up trash the whole way. Those same bathrooms that I used to use in so anybody here could find my body, we now pick up. And we make those places beautiful. So they're no longer a reminder of where I was in my life that time. We are helping recreate and re-beautify something that I helped destroy. These adventures have taken us to national parks. They have taken us to different parts of the state. Recently, we went to Copper Falls, and we got to go on a hiking trip for my wife's birthday where we picked up trash in 3 different state parks. Not every day is easy. There are days like today where I sit in front of you and I ask myself, am I enough? Why was I given the grace that I was given the day I was sentenced? Why am I allowed to be here? Because there are days I do not feel that I deserve it. But every time I go out with my son and we experience this moment and people notice us and they call us the jerk faces, or they call us the trash people, or the trashy lifestyle, we smile, we say thank you, and we continue on our way. Everything can change at a given moment. Something I don't remember my PO saying while I was in the back of that van, going my way to jail again. She told me, Nate, you are free to change your situation anytime you desire. I just didn't know how. In meeting with Derek, reconnecting with my parents, my wife, my kids, I've gotten a second chance that I question if I deserve, but I stopped asking why, and I just embraced it. I'm just hoping that we can leave the world a little bit better than when we started it. I openly challenge anyone, if you see a piece of trash, instead of going on Facebook and complaining, pick it up. Throw it away. And most importantly, the inspiration behind this, the reason I'm here today, is my son, and I'd like you to introduce him to you, Bentley Alexander Scheer. Thank you very much.